hold on one second. Can you shut that door? It's nerd loud. About double door, shut that. Double nerd.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
I'm sitting in my hotel room and I'm thinking about this closing thoughts thing. I did an attempt at that at the Mexican restaurant that we had our last meal at. The trip as a whole was amazing. We were in Monterey. Really, even though Monterey was a bit touristy, I enjoyed. Once we started to get into some of the downtown shops, like that Turkish place was amazing. I'll put some B-roll in the Turkish place. We really liked that. In fact, we found another Turkish place in San Luis Obispo that was also pretty good, although somewhat pricey. Everyone said that the aquarium was like awesome and it's like the thing to do down there. And I guess I have to give New Jersey credit because I thought that the New Jersey aquarium is like just as good, bigger, more options. The Monterey aquarium is nicer. It's like smaller and cleaner, like nicer, but it was super, super crowded and like I didn't love that. There were so many people there. That freaks me out. You know, the downtown area in Monterey was great. Allison found this fantastic restaurant. It was Butter House. I'm going to do a separate video on that. That place just deserved its own video. Between Butter House and Monterey, then we went to San Luis Obispo. That was a great drive and just found so much stuff to do over there. I really, really like San Luis Obispo because it's not super touristy. There's a great little downtown area. There's cool little restaurants. There's things to do, although I will also say amongst all the restaurants and things that we tried out, I think people should go to the Madonna Inn to check out how quirky and weird it is, but just be very careful in the pricing, you know, just from a comparison. The House of Prime Rib, which is a San Francisco, which is a notoriously expensive city, the House of Prime Rib for 4 people, that dinner was actually cheaper than the Madonna Inn's. Like we ordered steak at the Madonna Inn and we ordered prime rib at the House of Prime Rib. And the House of Prime Rib was cheaper, and we ordered beverages there too. I even got a drink there because I was there, and it's like that's what you do at the House of Prime Rib. So like, just saying. You know, just be careful of the prices. You should check out the Madonna Inn for sure, and the service was super nice. The people were really, really nice there. But for what we got with the meal and for what the cost was, just pay attention to the pricing. And like I said, just to kind of like finish up San Luis Obispo before I get into San Francisco. I really liked the town. I really liked everything. I loved the house that we were in. Great house. It's just nice to be in a house when you're sort of vacationing. You have like a base of operations and you can have a little bit of space to yourself, you know, and then even the drive back from San Luis Obispo. We even found this cool little place in Delroy, California. That was like the halfway point, and we found a great place, a little Mexican place to grab lunch, and that place was awesome. They actually had like sort of like I've been doing this like nacho chicharron, like a pork rind thing because I can't have tortilla chips, or I shouldn't eat tortilla chips. So I've been making sort of like nachos with pork rinds, and this place actually did something very similar. They did like chilaquiles with pork rinds, so like that was pretty cool. I haven't seen people do that before on a menu or on a recipe, so that was cool. So we just like ran into all these cool little places, and then, you know, we got into San Francisco last night, and we went to the House of Prime Rib, and it was 4th of July, and just walking around San Francisco, it felt like there was nothing opened. And like we were just looking for a place. I made reservations for the House of Prime Rib over 2 months ago, and it was for 9:30, and I didn't want to eat at 9:30, and I kept calling, and they're like, "Yeah, just keep trying to call back. We'll probably find something. We'll take care of you. We'll figure it out. But call back. People will usually cancel. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. And by the way, they did. They totally figured it out. But the way we figured it out is they're like, yeah, just show up at 4:00. There's going to be a line, but you'll get in, and then, you know, we'll figure out a seating arrangement for you, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was trying to avoid that because we had a 4-hour drive from San Luis Obispo, and I didn't want to. First thing I did was get into, you know, have to worry about getting here by 4:00, which we did. Like we had to get here by 4:00, which was just stressful. And then, you know, then I was worried about having to stand in line and doing all that, and then not getting a table. So like I was kind of stressing out about it. And I mean, at the end of the day, it worked out. We were able to get a table around 4:30, and we ate dinner, and it was a fantastic dinner. Everybody raved about it. Everybody said it was great. But we walked from the hotel at Fisherman's Wharf all the way to down Van Ness to the House of Prime Rib, and there's like nothing between those two, like in these two areas. So like that's a very desolate area for like, there's not touristy things to do. Not that I'm always looking for touristy things, but there wasn't a ton of stuff to do. There wasn't anything interesting to see down there. So I was like, oh man, this is a bit of a bust. And like, it's a city. I don't want to be too harsh on it because Philadelphia, again, my hometown, it's certainly got its garbage issues, especially right now. But it was like, man, we're walking into a lot of like garbage and dog poop. I'm hoping it's dog poop and all this other stuff. And I was like, not great. And then after dinner last night, we walked over to Fisherman's Wharf. And again, it was 4th of July. And it was just tourist central. There's so many people.
This is a tourist trap. This is a tourist trap. Trap, 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 trap. Trap, 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 trap. Trap.
And I was like freaking out a little bit just because of the amount of people. Couldn't get into the shops. There was like a crazy line. Just there's a In-N-Out burger over there, like right on Fisherman's Wharf, which by the way, if you're looking for an In-N-Out burger, there's an In-N-Out burger on Fisherman's Wharf, except that it had a line wrapped around the corner.
God damn. Look at the line there. They'd be hungry. They'd be hungry.
It was just crazy last night. And I was just feeling a little bit burned out and stressed out. And I kind of felt like, man, there's actually nothing. There's no soul to the city. And then today, we got up and we did an Alcatraz tour, which I'll show pictures, but I didn't really take like video of it because it was, it's inside a building. It's dark. And there's just a million people around that I'm like, what are you going to see? You're just going to see some old decaying building. I didn't feel inspired to take video.
Take a little video of the walking into Alcatraz. There's a true stink coming off this boat. The fishiness, the bay, the sulfur. Prisoners coming to this island, having to smell this. Welcome to Alcatraz.
It's always good to do Alcatraz and get a feel for what that is. This is like the third time I've done it too. But the first time Ben got to go and he got to check it out and I think he enjoyed it. But we got back and I was just struggling with things to do. I didn't want to go to all these touristy areas and do touristy things. We ended up going to the Japanese tea house. What a lovely place. And I will show pictures because, I wanted to be respectful and not take a bunch of video because there was people there, but it didn't feel like overwhelming with tourists. We had a lovely time there. And then the surrounding Golden Gate Park, like it's a massive area. I will say, because I haven't done a lot of video in San Francisco proper, that I haven't been a huge fan of this iteration of San Francisco. It's 4th of July weekend. It's been very touristy, very crowded. No offense. It's San Francisco, and again, I come from Philadelphia, but it's been dirty. A lot of trash, and again, coming from Philadelphia, there's a trash strike right now. There's a lot of trash and there's a lot of, let's assume it's dog poop. Let's assume. Only hope that is dog poop. But the point is, today, going to the Japanese garden and going towards, I assume this is Golden Gate Park. I'm not entirely sure if this is Golden Gate Park, but I think it's Golden Gate Park. It's a much nicer experience, so I would highly recommend, and I will overlay pictures, because again, I didn't take video because it was a little bit busy in there, and I don't want to stop and be like, oh, there, I'm going to take pictures. I wish I could have taken the drone out, because there were some beautiful shots. But we really enjoyed the Japanese garden. There's food trucks across the street from it, and that's really nice. Food was good. And we're in this nice little area where we're eating our snacks. And as if on cue, cool-looking dog, guy walking down.
I got a Vietnamese avocado. It looked a lot prettier before I manhandled it and mangled it, but it's actually really good. It's vanilla ice cream and this Vietnamese coffee. And very, very delicious. The coffee is very rich and has a nice, delicious, creamy taste. And I would definitely recommend getting something like this. I'm probably now going to go out of my way to go get Vietnamese coffee because of how good this was. So.
Yes, so I got an iced Vietnamese coffee, and unlike Ryan, I have had Vietnamese coffee before. Joey and I would go to Vietnam when we both worked in the city and we would get that coffee because it is amazing. But I've not been back to any type of Vietnamese restaurant since I worked in the city, which was COVID. So it's been a long time, but I'm glad to revisit it. Delicious, as I remembered.
I had told the family after that, I'm like, I kind of wanted to go. I'm a big fan of the camera bag company, Peak Design, and they have a retail store here. I was like, it'd be kind of cool to just check it out and see what they had. And you know, I have most of the stuff that I wanted to get over there. We got a couple little trinkets, but the neighborhood that the Peak Design store is in was awesome. Last night in San Francisco, we've been, you know, out and about today. We've been walking down this nice little area. I'm not exactly sure what this neighborhood's called, but this is one of my, from what we've seen, this is one of my favorite areas in, thank you. What is this area called? What is this neighborhood called?
Hayes Valley.
Hayes Valley? Perfect, thank you. So it's Hayes Valley, and I have to say that I thoroughly enjoy Hayes Valley. The shops are wonderful. There's little parks. There's little places to get coffee and beer. This is what we were looking for last night, and I wish that we found it last night, but we found it today, which is a win. But really liked it here. We checked out some stores. We found there's a Peak Design store, and we found it. And we bought some stuff at the Peak Design store, which is always fun and happy. But now the street's been closed off for some reason, like I'm assuming some kind of like party. We're at some little Mexican place. We're gonna grab dinner, and then we're gonna figure it out. I'm not gonna do a full video. I'm using this as my wrap up for San Francisco. So we ended up walking around down there. There's coffee shops and bars, and it was what I was looking for last night. And we had a great time down there. It was really cool. And we stayed there for hours, and it was that was what I was looking for in San Francisco, and I'm glad that we found it. And you know, you find these little beer gardens and these little micro parks and stuff, and little neighborhoods, and it was cool. And I was glad to experience that because it sort of redeemed San Francisco a little bit for me. As a whole, big fan of San Luis Obispo, general fan of Monterey. I'm not sure how I feel about San Francisco, about going back to San Francisco again per se, but I think the next time we do something like this, we might just keep going, you know, flying to San Francisco, hit Monterey, hit San Luis Obispo, and just keep going and make your way to Los Angeles or something like that, and just kind of complete the circuit with the Pacific Coast Highway. I should also mention, as of July of 2025, the Pacific Coast Highway is not completely transversable. It's not completely drivable. Basically, a big section, if you want to get to Big Sur, specifically, it's kind of hard to get to. If that's something that you're planning to do, I hope that the road reopens and that you can complete the loop, but you have to backtrack. So that added, and I knew this, but that added a significant portion to our drive when we were going to San Luis Obispo, because we had to backtrack and go around. But it was still worth it. It's still worth it to see it, take some pictures. But also, if you are traveling, factor in that it could be very foggy, because we are in these cold yet that meets warm climates, and it gets very foggy. That's part of the adventure, being road trips and seeing things, and sometimes the fogginess actually adds its own atmosphere and makes it cool. So California, what a lovely time. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and we had some great meals and had some great adventures, and looking forward to coming back to this great state, and I will be.